right, welcome back to episode 2 of our podcast here at Engel and Volkers. I have 2 special guests with me today. Over here, I have alexa.renken. Lexi.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. How are you guys?
Good. And I have my beautiful wife over here, Paige Winter.
Hi.
All right, we're back. How's things going this week?
Good. Only Wednesday.
I know. It's already been busy.
Sun is shining.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. How's business right now? Things busy?
Yeah, I would say things are definitely picking up. People are needing new houses. So we're scheduling showings. Yeah.
yeah. Business is going well. I'm getting a lot of repeat clients who are looking to upgrade their homes and
Awesome.
sell their existing homes. So I'm excited
Mhm.
about the opportunity to help some past clients of mine.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, when I wanted to get into today, I want to talk a little bit about moms and being in real estate,
Mhm.
and then we'll finish up with a little bit of more real estate technical stuff.
I think you've got the right girls then.
Yeah.
Right,
There you go.
right. All right. So, life as a mom and a realtor. How do you guys balance? First of all, how do you balance the house? Right, you guys are in charge. Not self-admittedly, I will admit this. You're in charge of everything, right?
Nick would agree.
Yeah. How have you guys are new moms, right? How are you balancing career, kids, husband, your goals? How has that been, a change for you, and kind of how are you navigating it? Lexi, I'll start with you.
Yeah. We're like lots of self-meditation and prayer. No. That's a great question because I think it's something that for me personally will probably be ever changing in different seasons, and adding another kid, and you can probably attest to that, 1 to 2, probably what is a change as well. Having a set structure as far as childcare and days I get things done around the house and date nights with my husband, like things like that, where it keeps life not so centered around the house, or not so centered around being a mom, or not so centered around my business, but really incorporating all 3 and all the other things we do. So that's something I'm still learning, but yeah. And also just giving yourself grace of like, some days the house is just going to be a mess. And it's hard for me to be okay with that.
You got to choose your battles.
Yes, choose your battles. And especially now with a toddler and just a dog and all the things. Yeah, so still figuring it out, but having a set structure has been huge.
Well, you look like you're doing great.
Thank you. Thanks.
What about you, honey? I
I
can say honey on here, right?
Yeah.
Yes, honey. I think the structure of a schedule is the biggest thing. We abide by our schedule, and it works for all of us. The girls both go to bed right around the same time every single night. And then that allows us, now we have our alone time that we know that we're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
And we eat dinner for the most part at the same time every night. And they go to daycare at the same time. So the routine has worked really well for all of us. And I try to do a lot of my personal things, workouts, things in the morning so that I can leave the rest of my late morning, afternoon, early evening for work. But that schedule and having a shared calendar with my husband allows...
What do you guys use?
I just use Google.
Just Google.
Okay.
But I would say that I am his calendar master.
I would say you own my calendar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if it's not on the calendar, I can't do it.
Doesn't
Doesn't
exist.
It's not a thing.
Like,
Even if it is on his calendar, sometimes it might not exist for him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten better, since Sloan was born.
Yeah.
I've gotten better.
I'll call him and I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm on my way to go do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be doing?
It's not on the calendar.
Exactly.
It's not a thing.
And then he wants to say, well, I told you. I was like, well, it's not on the calendar.
Mhm.
So the calendar has been the biggest thing for us. So live by the calendar and our schedule.
Mm-hmm.
This is for both of you.
Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge between wanting to have a career and being a mom?
I can go.
Yeah. Like, whew.
I'm not gonna make anybody cry. So
No, it's great.
The unpredictableness, is that a word? The
Unpredictableness?
No. The unpredictability.
There you go.
The unpredictability of a child's schedule.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll have like my whole day planned out. Doesn't matter what it is, work, not work, personal, both. And then you get a call from the daycare. Hey, Sloan or Reese is sick. And now your schedule doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
So now, you have to drop everything. So for me, my family comes first, and I'm, happy to do that. And for me, I'm lucky that my husband is in the same industry. So we have been able to pick up each other's slack in that case. But that's probably one of the biggest struggle is, kids are being so unpredictable, and the time management of kids, the reality of like, oh, it's, we just have to get them dressed and feed them and out the door. And you're like, oh, it's just eat and just clothes and out the door. But before you know, that's 2 hours later.
Yeah.
So it's like all this time goes by, and you're just like, that's not like how I like planned for it. And like, it's not on the calendar. 2 hours for clothes and for new outfits and breakfast was not on the calendar. So, that has always definitely been a struggle.
Lexi, what about you?
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe flip it as I could set my week schedule as, okay, I have this time with this client and these showings, but you're in a fast-paced real estate market. So it could be, hey, there's an offer deadline tonight or this afternoon. So then you're scrambling potentially sometimes of like, hey, it's my husband's at work, like my sitter left, all the things. So that's been some adjustment of again, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And then your kid can be unpredictable. And so moms just do it all, especially working moms and working moms in the house. It's all work, but it's the most rewarding work, right?
It definitely is. Absolutely.
Do you guys think being a mom has made you better at your job?
100%.
Yeah, because we can handle anything in the world.
Multitasking.
Okay.
It's made you, better multitasker. Setting boundaries and using your time wisely, like taking responsibility for your time. Before kids and being married, I was like, man, I had so much time. Like, what?
Yes.
I didn't
What did you do with your time?
I didn't realize.
We took it for granted, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
And I loved my life, and I love it now. But it was just, it's different.
Very different.
So, taking responsibility for your time. And for me, it's important to be the best mom I can be, and setting time to be with just Remy and this next baby. And that's the beauty of owning your business, because you can leverage time and work those hours. And when you are dialed in, you're getting a lot done, and you're not just having a bunch of busy work and wasted time. So,
yeah, I definitely think it's made me a better real estate advisor, because the multitasking, the time management, my time is really precious. So, every minute, every hour counts during the day, especially, our girls are in daycare. So, we have that luxury of sending them to daycare so that we can do, some personal and, work things, and then really cherish that time that we have with the girls when they come home and before they go to bed. So I just try to do a lot of planning around that. And, I think the point that I'm at in my career with a lot of like repeat business and referrals is I'm not necessarily working with, some people who are looking at homes that are wanting listing appointments as like a hobby,
Right.
So
they're serious.
when my first handful of years, you're taking every single appointment that you possibly can.
Yeah.
And now I feel like my business is at a place where it allows me to be better with my time management, because I feel like I can be more productive with the appointments that I do take on.
Right. Yeah. That's something we've talked about. I'm learning this
you're
year
learning
of
that.
like, hey, time is precious, and this is what I do for a career. Like, this is my passion. This is what I love to do. I'm good at doing it. So I'm not going to waste my time on someone who doesn't reciprocate that respect of like, hey, I'm serious. And obviously things happen of like, hey, not going to work out. And there's no pressure, hard feelings, but it's more like, are we on the same page? You value my time. I value your time. And, we use to the best of our ability.
And it's not like if someone wants to see 3 houses, they're like,
yeah. You better put in an offer right now. No.
Well, I think being parents, you're more apt to set boundaries now than, you did when you were running and gunning by yourself. Right? Like think about early on in your career, like you would just do anything. Yeah. It didn't matter. There was no, at least for me, like you want to see a house at 9 o'clock at night if they allow it? Sure. I don't care. Let's go. Like,
and that's when the eye roll from the wife comes in. Like,
yeah, seriously.
Yeah. But now I think as parents, like it is good to set those boundaries because you want to be there for your spouse, your kids. You don't want to necessarily miss events. And I think, setting those early expectations with clients is something that we all want to do more of, do a better job of, but it's also necessary.
Yeah. It also avoids burnout too.
For sure.
We've talked about that not just running around with their heads cut off all week and weekend.
So wrapping up a little bit of moms in real estate, what's for a new mom out there? She just got into the business or she just had her first and she's been in the business. What's one piece of advice that you would give? Just one.
I know. I'm like, what do I think?
You got it, girlfriend.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I would say don't be afraid to ask for help or support on both ends. Becoming a first-time mom, big transition for most people and families. You need your village, whether that's family, friends, your community, huge. Also in business. I mean, if you're in the right brokerage and with the right people, they're going to want to see you succeed as a mom and in your personal business. So, yeah, the right people in your life are everything.
Yeah.
In those seasons.
I think it's really just listening to yourself and not biting more than you can chew. After you have kids, women go through a lot, and you never can plan or expect the changes that a woman will go through after they have kids, and maybe you're not working the same way that you were working before you had kids. So, maybe you need to like lessen your workload for a little bit and start easing yourself back into it. And that's completely normal. And to not be afraid to ask for help because you're going to need help.
We've had a lot of discussions about this.
I'm sure. And what is maternity leave in real estate? Like,
well, she'll always say like, well, I got to ask my boss how long I can take off,
Let's double up Brad's showings.
Yes. My boss gave me 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But yeah, asking for help, that's definitely a good one. And just listening to yourself and just not doing more than, just give yourself time to heal. And remember it's all about like seasons, maybe this season you just had your first kid, your second kid, and you're just in a season and, things change. And then that season goes by, and then the following season you're like, wow, I am sitting on top of the world. And my like real estate career is like, crushing it. So if you are a new mom and you need to slow down, that's okay too.
100%. Yes.
Well, cool. Well, I want to jump in a little bit of real estate. Lexi, tell our viewers how long you've been in real estate. What did you do prior, if you did anything? Give us a little background.
Yeah. This is my a little over 4 years in real estate. The first 2, I was in education as well. So I graduated college, was first year teaching, first year in real estate. So a lot of newness there. I just love to jump in at all the new things. Yeah. And then about 1.5 years ago, I transitioned to full-time real estate advisor, joined Engel and Volkers with you guys about 1 year ago, and also became a new mom. So again,
all the things
more
right?
adjustments. But yeah, 4 years, and I feel like I'm just getting started in some sort.
You are, for sure. Absolutely.
Yes. I've been in real estate for over 10 years.
Wow, the veteran.
Over a decade.
Yeah, that's crazy to say. I was never corporate America. I'm not a desk gal. You won't catch me sitting behind a desk. Before real estate, I was in the service industry. I was doing the service industry for probably about 5 years. And then I knew I was ready to take on a career. So I don't have a college degree, but I
You're
always,
smart.
Yeah.
I always,
You got an education down there, though.
yes, I didn't miss out on my college years, but I didn't go to college.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's the best.
On the education side.
She had
of
the
it.
best. It was like
Literally
the
best
best 4 years,
experience.
Yeah.
right? Like
It was great.
college
Then we were
experience, no class,
grinding like
sports,
film, weight room.
study tables.
I even got the victory
yeah.
lap.
Yeah. I love that.
Yes, but I always knew what I wanted, like for myself. I never knew what I wanted to do, but I always knew that I wanted a career. I wanted to be taken seriously. I wanted to have a good income. I wanted to provide for myself. I knew the type of like lifestyle that I wanted for myself for the future.
Yeah.
And I was a firm believer that it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I felt very confident that I will land somewhere and it would take me somewhere.
Yep.
And real estate was that for me. I had a real estate mentor.
I was going to say, did you have a mentor that
Yes, Marcy
helped,
Press.
Aw.
Love you, Marcy.
That's Marcy.
Marcy took me under her wing in 2014. She taught me basically everything I know in real estate.
So
And
all the things that you go to her for, like
Yeah.
she got that from Marcy.
all my legal jargon.
I was going to say,
everything.
the best. I'm like, hey, I
Marcy,
need.
love you, girl. Yes. So she trained me really well. And I was with her for, I think, 6 years. And then Brad and I started dating. And once we started dating, we were just moving at,
Rapid pace.
oh my gosh, at the speed of light. So then we started dating, and then we got engaged, and then we decided we were going to start a team. So we both left our brokerages, and then we went to Remax, and then we started the Winter Group, and then
You
we're
had
like,
babies.
let's get married, let's buy a house, let's have a baby, let's buy a brokerage.
That was
What's
all.
next?
That was all in
What's
2 years.
next?
No, we're taking a break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're,
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
So you guys have obviously experienced, Lexi, even in your short amount of time, a lot of different markets already. We had the COVID market, then we had coming out of that, then we had high rates. Now we have, I don't even know what we have right now, right? It's insane. Every week it changes. How are you dealing with some of the highs and lows that your clients are feeling? We'll get to your feelings in a second, but like, how are you managing like clients missing out on homes, seller expectations? You can kind of wrap it all into one, but like, how do you get your people ready for what's ahead of them?
Honestly, it's being super transparent and using my knowledge in the field to set expectations, especially in a market now, like we're full blown in this spring market. We were just chatting like, hey, if you're waiting till Sunday,
Good luck.
home could, good luck. The home is likely, if it's in a hot area, hot price point, it's going to be in contract most likely. So really setting expectations on the buyer consult, seller consult, and then throughout the whole process. So, hey, I'm running comps for a certain house. This is what it's worth in this area. It's going to be super competitive. This is what I think we're going to have to offer, right? And so I'm setting the expectation. Is there any pressure? No, like it's their decision, right? I'm just here to advise that and create a path to success for them. If they want the home, we're going to go do our best, put our best foot forward.
Yep.
Same with sellers. You can't promise that in that 3-day window, it's going to be in contract by Sunday.
They all think it should be.
They all think
right?
it should be. And a lot of them, for my clients, are either on their second home, so they're first-time home sellers, and they bought during COVID. So they were putting in crazy offers, potentially waiving inspections, right? And so they're like, hey, I want to receive that back. It's just a different market, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not the same.
It's hard to get them to realize that like not every real estate deal is a home run.
Exactly.
Like we want you to win, but that looks different for everybody.
Right.
And sometimes, like you said, if they bought during COVID, especially in an area that maybe is not appreciating as fast as other areas of our market, that might be a little tough conversation to have.
Right. Yeah. And I just truly believe in the transparency and not being a salesperson, but just being an advisor, right? Like they're going to come to you for real estate questions. For sellers, getting them a seller net on an estimate, like, hey, this is like what your net is likely going to be, and having no nothing hitting with fees, realtor fees, all the things.
Yep.
So I think clients have really appreciated that.
So transparency and expectation has been
Yeah.
something that's been working for you. So you can manage the outcome, even if they don't like it.
Yeah.
You've already set that kind of
Yeah.
tone of what's going to happen. And so at least they have an idea going into
Yeah.
it.
And most times it is positive. So
It
we'll
is,
state
it
that.
Lexi's been on fire this year.
Yes, she has.
Thanks.
Oh, the COVID market. Those were some of my best years of real estate.
Those were
I'm
wild.
sure.
Yeah.
They,
I was struggling underwater.
yeah, everyone was afraid to leave the house, and then all of a sudden it's like
Let's buy a
everyone
house.
wants to buy a house, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
everybody- yeah,
those
that's
were good times. Absolutely. I feel like I'm in a different spot with my business right now. A lot of my buyer clients are more selective with the homes that they want to see. So, where in the past, it's like a new listing would come on the market. It's like, we got to go see it. We got to go see
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
like now I have like a lot of clients. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this house? You want to go see it? And they're just like, no. And I'm like, before it was just like, if a house came up that met your criteria, it was almost like, you got to go see it.
Right.
Well, I also think they're move-up clients,
Right.
and they're also higher price point clients, right? So they're going from maybe that $400,000 or $500,000 up to $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 and above. And so, if you're going to spend that type of money, you better be
Absolutely.
sure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So that's probably why they're
You're
being a
gonna
little
be
bit more
a little pickier.
selective.
Yeah.
But back to your point, you're saying like their time and your time is so precious.
Exactly.
Especially like they're probably having multiple kids or families or like into a career. So they're not wanting to run around showings either that they know.
Looking at homes
Yeah.
as a hobby.
Yes.
Just like, oh, well, yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's just go check it out, even though we don't like it.
Right.
You know, our world can be challenging, right? Losing deals, losing clients sometimes, whatever it is. Real estate is one of the hardest industries to build a business in, stay around for a long time. They always say if you can stay around for 3 years,
That
I
was
think
my
that's
goal.
Yeah.
3
That's
years,
literally
right?
my goal.
3 years. So, what is something that motivates you guys through those tough times? How do you find, I don't know if it's solitude is the right word, or motivation or calmness when maybe it's not going right? Because we've all experienced times where it just hits the fan, right? So is there something that you do? Is it meditation? Is it working out? Is it lean on your family? Is it your sister that you're in business with?
Yeah.
Like what do you do to like?
Yeah. I feel like I go through spurts, and I honestly, being transparent, I just feel like I had a little spurt of you have a few deals, consistently per month. And then it's like, okay, it's a little.
I got the text message from you. Like,
yeah, people are pivoting, and maybe clients that you had been working with, or they're relocating, or they're staying put for a little. And then it just feels discouraging. You're like, wow, you're on a commission base, you have goals, but also, client needs go first. I definitely lean on a few different things. I feel like not having my identity solely in real estate is so helpful because I have a family, I have my faith, right? Like I have things that are so much truly deeper than just a career, right? It's my career and passion, but you're going to feel a sting here and there. We're in sales, we're in commission. We can't base our volume because the market changes. You can base like, hey, I have a goal of X amount of deals and volume, but the market's going to change. And I learned that from Elias. Thank you. But yeah, really the support of family, keeping my time and my identity strong, and my faith and all the things is super helpful.
Yeah. I just like to do the things that make me happy and keep me calm. So whether it's family time, I love spending time with my family, going on a walk, cooking. I love to cook, exercising, being outside. Those types of things just kind of like bring me back and like, okay, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. I've been in real estate long enough to know that, you lose some, you win some. Some transactions are a lot more tough and difficult than others. You have a tough one. That means like you've got to win. You got an easy one coming around the corner. So there's just, everything under the sun.
Yeah.
She reminds me of that daily.
Yeah, right. Those
I'm
tough
always-
ones are.
Well, I'm always
tough.
like, I don't have any. It's a little quiet.
Yeah.
So you're the constant reminder of that one.
Yeah,
Whether I
but
listen or not, I don't know.
I feel like it's always easy to hear it from somebody else,
Mhm.
Like if I lose a deal, if you will, you're there to remind me that, whether it was someone I was never working with, and you're like, oh, well, you never had the business anyways,
Right.
Yeah.
and then same for you. Like,
Right.
you get mad that you lost the deal, but you never had the business anyway. So like sometimes you just need that reminder from, somebody else, and just, like being like talked down that like, it's not the end of the world. It's the nature of our job. We are in sales.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't win them all,
Right.
but
Yeah,
we
I
do.
agree.
Yeah.
We do.
But we low-key do.
Real estate is all about like building a network and building a
Mhm.
community. And Lexi, I know you're really big on like the community that you want to build and you're cultivating. And it's something I think we have gradually started to figure out, like, who's our ideal client? Who do we
Mhm.
want to serve? All these things. What are some things that you are putting into your business that is helping you kind of build that community that you want to serve?
Mhm.
Whether that's your social media that you're doing, events, like
Yeah.
talk a little bit about how you are building the people that want to work with you.
Yeah. I would say I'm really trying to focus on a few things, but something that's tangible is the social media aspect.
Lexi's reels will make you want to cry. They're always very like personal and
Not
emotional.
always, no.
But they're adorable. You
Thank
do
you.
really
Yeah.
great reels.
Thank you. So do you guys.
Thank you.
I think it's something for me, if you enjoy being on social media, it's a no-brainer to use for your business. Most buyers and sellers, they're looking online to
Yep.
find a realtor. They're looking online to find a house, Zillow, realtor.com, right? If they're not in a search, that's where they're starting. Gone are the days of just word of mouth or reading in the newspaper. I don't even know how they did it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, who knows? There was actually a book. You would
Yeah.
get a book and open up, and you could see all the
wow.
homes that were for sale way back when.
Yeah, way back. So it's something that I enjoy. It's something that I think people can get to know me before meeting. And so I'm hopefully attracting someone who can see, hey, this person values X, Y, and Z. And then it could be a good fit, right?
Yep.
And then really going in on networking with people in the industry and staying involved like in a community with our friends, sphere of influence, or church, and just part of it is just enjoying life, being authentic, and business will continue to come. But having some strategy on social media is super helpful.
Yeah. Staying involved in things within your community, volunteering. I try to volunteer at my girls' daycare, any opportunity that I can, just to show face, meet other
Yeah.
moms, other parents.
I already know what you're gonna say. Go ahead. Your Monday night gambling games.
What is that? What is that called?
I play Maj 2 to 3 times a week.
4 times.
It's essentially like Chinese checkers.
Okay.
It's you basically just like build sequences of hands.
It's a whole thing.
Sounds confusing.
It is. It's
but it's
insane.
a lot of fun, and
You build a community though around
Yeah.
it.
I
Friendships.
built a
and-
community around it. I taught. So it was generally known for like older Jewish women.
Okay.
Maj, the game, is like known for like older Jewish women, and like now like Maj has been like sweeping the country. It's on the news. It's everywhere. So everyone knows about Maj now.
Yes.
So I hosted a oh my gosh.
like a workshop, a
Not
class.
like
a class. You taught class.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like cut this out because I'm like blanking so hard
Yeah,
right now.
You taught a Maj class.
Yes. Okay. So let's go back. 2
Yeah.
seconds. Okay. So at one of the temples in New Albany, I taught mahjong for millennials, and I had about 25 women
That's
there around my
amazing.
age.
That was cool.
And I've become friends with so many new girls, and now I have like all these different Maj groups. I have
Can't keep up with them. Always like who?
She's starting a new business, basically.
Yeah.
so that's between staying active in our community, within my Maj groups, and our close friendships with family, and just staying top of mind for people.
Yeah.
in these communities that you guys are building, is there one like deal that like sticks out that you're like, wow, I didn't see that coming? Or, maybe it was off of social media, like your biggest deal, or, is there, or maybe it's like the most memorable for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Is there something you can share of like, wow, this was unbelievable and I wasn't expecting this?
I did have one February, March. I had someone inquire from Texas, amazing
Wow.
couple, loved them. And they had a very short window timeline. They filled out my buyer consultation form that's linked to my bio, sent me a DM right away, and we scheduled a Zoom call to have something like face-to-face of like, hey, you're a real person and this feels like a good fit mutually. So that they came up 3 weekends almost in a row. We got them in contract, closed on a house they loved in Westerville. Honestly, it was a perfect time because it was right when the market was kind of heating up again, but still inventory was starting to pump through. Great couple, new to Columbus.
They would have never found you.
No,
if
it was
you went
just
up online.
it was just like a great experience. I think all around they were really happy. So that
That's
was
awesome.
super rewarding.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they found you online, right?
Yeah.
Like you just said it, like everything's online. So, I mean, for people that aren't doing it, like you should start doing it
Yeah, great.
immediately.
Yeah.
What about you?
One of my Maj ladies, she put me on a group chat with her daughter and said, hey, she's going to be looking for a house soon. I wanted to introduce you guys. So, I'm just extremely grateful that she thought of me for that to help with her daughter. I mean, that's to me, that speaks a lot. So just getting those opportunities is really rewarding.
It's because she's been taking your money, so she wants to like,
Yes,
Just
and when you
kidding.
said taking my money,
That
the
does speak
hands are
volumes,
25
though.
cents a hand.
Yeah.
So
I
at
always, like-
most, I gamble away $2.50 a night.
Brad can't handle
Oh,
it.
no. My mom will like FaceTime me like Monday night, and she knows now, right? Like she knows. She goes, "Is Paige gambling?" I'm like, "Yep, sure is." Like,
$2 gone.
I know, right?
Yep.
So, talk a little bit about the market, building a community. What are you guys doing after the closing table to make sure that your clients are coming back to you or that they're referring you? There was some numbers out earlier this year that only 8% of people are selling their home with the realtor that they bought it with, which is, I think it should be a huge wake-up call for everybody. It's staggering. I can't even comprehend that. It's such a low number. So obviously this changes all the time. I think we're always trying new things. What are you guys doing to make sure that you're at the forefront when they're having that conversation of, we need to make a move? Or my sister has just told us that they're going to be relocating back to Columbus. I need to call Lexi, call Paige. Like, what are you guys doing to ensure that you're getting that call?
I like to stay top of mind. After someone sells their house or buys a house, our relationship doesn't stop there. Like, it's not just like, all right, sayonara. Like, we are also a relation-based, hang on, that's not what I wanted to say. Our work.
Words, no.
Establishing.
These are good
This is
little
great, little
bloopers.
blooper.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pop off.
Okay. Maintaining a relationship after closing is something very important to me. I do things like play dates with clients if they have kids. We do client events. We do just providing value to our clients. When everyone's so interested in real estate. Everyone's so curious, like what's happening in their neighborhood. Like once they buy a house and like now all these other homes are selling in their neighborhood. So we'll give them information to show them, the trends of home sales in their neighborhood so that they can see, how they're gaining equity in their home or how the home values are affecting their home. But just staying top of mind, providing valuable information just so that they don't think that we're just here for, the transaction.
Right.
So I like to send little gifts if anyone has like any milestones. So someone has a baby or, job promotion, birthdays, things like that, handwritten cards. I like to be Facebook or Instagram friends with my clients so I can stay up to date what's going on in their world. And, so I can actually know instead of just, whenever you run into them or you want to reach out to them, you've got something to talk about with them. So just keeping like a genuine relationship with them.
Yeah. I would agree with a lot of that. I was thinking when we talked about that stat a few months ago, it's interesting. All the listings I had this past year were actually, I didn't help them buy the house. So that was like kind of a cool, I guess it was just, a cool experience, but also
scary though.
It puts things into place of like, hey, they're probably not going to relist their house anytime soon. But the buyers that I have worked with, a lot of them, which I'm so thankful for, I'm genuinely, friends with. So we are getting together for mom coffee dates or brunches, birthdays. But also I do email marketing. So I have a newsletter, but also try to, like you said, add value. So I'm not just, here's some fun Amazon things I found, but also this is what's going on in Columbus. And these are some relevant things to know of what's likely to come. So that's been helpful, being on social media, just engaging with others, and like you said, staying top to mind.
Yeah, I think it's a never-ending thing that we're always trying to do more of. I think for me, I'm always questioning, like, am I really doing enough? Right? Like, if somebody were to not work with you, it's a good way to go back and be like, well, why? Was it, their son got his real estate license? I mean, you've had one of those, right? Your past client did a great job. They love you.
Family.
But like the son got his license and like he's a good realtor. Like he's good. So like that was a situation where no big deal. But I think we're always trying to evolve and to make sure that we are top of mind because there's so many of us out there, and all it takes is a conversation, from a school teacher, at school saying, "Oh, you should use my friend. Like this is what I had." And if you haven't talked to that person for 2 years, like you're out. You don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Right. So the market, I don't want to say the market's tough because I don't want like to say like it's impossible, right? But there are challenges. We'll use the word challenge. There's tons of challenges. When you're meeting with a seller, when you're meeting with a buyer, when you're just having a talk with your friends, because everybody asks about real estate, right? Do you think people are more informed today about what's going on, or are they less informed, or are they wrong? Right? We live in TikTok world. We were talking about this on the last episode. That's why I'm asking this question, because, you can doom scroll and you can get anything you want. So when you're meeting with people, like, are you finding like, hey, like this person's actually like pretty educated on what's going on? Or is it, hold up, let's start over because like, that's not how this is going to work. What are you guys seeing out there?
I think that everyone thinks they're a realtor and everyone thinks that they can do it themselves. Not everyone, but I don't know if wrong is the right answer, but
not correct.
Yes, let's say that.
A little off.
It's like they think they know the things, like they don't know all of like the small nuances of the day-to-day life of being a realtor and what entails all of that. And even something as simple as like Zillow, people are like, well, my Zestimate was X. So they think that they could sell their house for X. And then when you have to come in there and be the bad guy to tell them that like, hey, your house, like, we don't say, hey, your house isn't worth that amount. Or the other way around, like, oh no, actually, I think we can get you more.
We've had to do that. We've had meetings where we've had to go both ways.
Yeah. So that's, like people, they have so much information at their fingertips, and I feel like they use it how they want to. And
however it fits their kind of situation.
Exactly. So, things that they don't even like think about is like, okay, well, coordinating showings. Are you gonna, if you sell your home by yourself, like, are you gonna coordinate all the showings? Are you gonna let somebody in? And, just all of like the small nuances and how to stay protected during like on a contract and just things like that. What's the question again? I don't even I feel like I started rambling. What's the question?
You went off the wheels here. So question again, are clients more informed, less informed, or when you're meeting with them, they're kind of, what they're thinking is not correct, right? So how are you dealing with them? I'll go with Lexi. You got enough.
Yeah. Well, I started rambling, so I don't.
Yeah, probably a mixture, but what I have seen as of late is maybe they're hearing a lot of scary things in the Columbus market, that it's hard to get a house, and with the rates, like, you're not going to be able to afford this and X, Y, and Z. And really encouraging them through it. It's like, no, we can do this. We can get a house. Sometimes it's going to be strategy, depending on if we can't do appraisal gap, like, we're going to pivot and maybe look at homes that have been sitting for a weekend or 2 or 3, So I think like you said, a lot of people have all this information at their fingertips. So they go into it really timid. Can I get a house, or am I going to sell my house for X, Y, and Z? And Zillow estimate has been wildly off. And sometimes it's a come down to earth moment of, hey, here's like the actual data. And here's some things we can do to help get close to that number.
Right. Awesome. So a couple questions.
I'd like a retry.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Okay. Especially when it comes to negotiating, that is a strong skill set of mine. And I'm going to use one of my past clients as an example of someone who, so for example, if someone is thinking that they want to sell their house by themselves and they think that they know all the answers to everything, they don't know how to negotiate within the contract. I got an offer for one of my clients that was $25,000 above list price, and they were happy with that. They were like, oh my gosh, Paige, this is amazing. Like, let's take it. Yeah. I'm like, no, let's not take it. And I ended up getting my client $50,000 over list price, cash offer.
Wow.
And not everyone knows how to work the offers within the offers. Yeah. So, you know, that would just be like another like disadvantage of like, you think you know how to do it, but like you don't.
Right.
So let the expert do it.
Yeah. Cause they're not doing it every day.
Exactly.
You're doing it every day.
Yeah. They don't know the norm. Like we do.
Okay. So 2 questions before we wrap this up. Alexi, I'm going to start with you. We're so lucky to have you here at EV. You guys actually reached out to us.
Yeah.
You and your sister sent us an email. What was the reason behind that? And then what is something since you've been here that you're like, wow, like, okay, this has helped my business do X. Is there something you could put your thumb on? I mean, there could be multiple things.
Yeah.
Like, is there one thing that you're like, this has helped me grow, or wow, this has saved me time since you've been with us?
I'm going to start with how we found you guys. This is funny. I don't remember if it was Aubrey, but we did see the EV for sale sign in Westerville. I think it might have been one of Jessica's listings. And we knew we loved the brokerage we were with, loved a broker. A lot of great mentorship there, but just wasn't a really great fit for growing our business and the branding and resources that we knew were out there. Little did we know actually what was out there. And so we ended up, sending an email, meeting, but just within, we're probably coming up on a year.
You are.
In like a week or something.
I think it's next Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually,
it's on
the calendar. Thank you, Kayla. Kayla's my other, my other person that keeps me keep me right. So,
love that. Yeah. So many things. I am huge on collaboration. Played sports growing up, into college. Yep. So having the support of even our group chat, I think that's just a funny small thing, but it is a place of encouragement and also actual help with offers and questions. And then the support we have on what are strategies to build a foundation in your business. I think when we came in, you were like, I like you guys, but what is going on? And we needed that, we needed someone to really take our hand and be like, this isn't a hobby, it's a business. So let's treat it like a business. And the more I've done that, I'm laying a foundation to be in this for the long run.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's been a big change in the last year from like, I remember sitting in the conference room, you had all these ideas. We're going to have this team member and this team member. We're going to do this. And I'm like, I think you should just start with you two. And then like, let's build off of there.
Right.
But I think you got to give yourself a lot of credit because you could have just said, this isn't a good fit. Like this guy's not listening to us, blah, blah, blah. But you have really grown in your business. And I think in just 1 year, like you've come so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, you've got some good news coming up here shortly.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting for your business. But none of that would have been possible if you just wouldn't have, if you would have just kept doing what you were doing.
Right.
You had to make a change.
Yeah.
And we see it in the numbers. We see it in, confidence, your education, everything. So
Yeah.
I think that's like a big, high five to you of just like being able to
Thanks,
take
guys.
that, take that kind of thought process and run with it.
Yeah.
All right, honey, we decided to do this, to bring EV to Columbus.
Yes, we did.
Obviously we were in the thick of life and people were like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
There's still some people out there that are haters.
They don't understand.
Right? They don't get it.
They don't
But
get the grind.
when we decided to do this, what's the one thing that you were excited about how this could help our business, change our business, change others' business? Was there something that you were like, wow, this is going to be really impactful?
Yeah. Probably like the biggest thing was you and I were not like complacent. Like we don't just like to, sit on the sidelines. And we just felt like we were surrounded by a lot of realtors that didn't motivate us or like make us like want to be better or do more. And we wanted something bigger and more for ourselves. And that's when the Engel and Volkers opportunity was brought to us. And then we kind of saw a vision of how partnering with a brand like Engel and Volkers could give us everything that we're looking for and trying to accomplish in Columbus, and then allowed us to, find people like you and the rest of our advisors. And it's been beyond rewarding to see the growth of all of the advisors, even me and you, that once they have come to Engel and Volkers, they're doing more volume, they're doing more size, they're increasing price points. And it's been just really rewarding to be a part of our peers' growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see. Love it. We have a really good group.
Yes, we do.
You're the best group.
Okay, as we wrap up here, this is a question that this is going to be like my question I ask everybody. What is your biggest pivot in life or business? So for example, you've been somewhere, you've made a change, it's done X for you. Could be business, it could be personal, it could be both, right? It could all kind of intertwine. But is there a moment in your adult life where you were like, wow, I made a change and that was for the best?
Yeah. I have one that is personal business. Coming from being a teacher, having a baby, going in real estate full time. I all did that within a few months, if you will. That was the biggest pivot because I was doing some deals in real estate. I had a salary. I didn't have a kids yet, so I was doing showings when I got off. I was working hard and I was working a lot. It just wasn't what I wanted to do with my life and the lifestyle I wanted. So when I did quit teaching and then became a new mom and then switched to EV, I mean, those are like multiple pivots. It felt like, hey, you don't have the security of benefits. You don't have the security of whatever salary. It's still a salary. It's coming in. So really, that was such a pivot, but it has obviously turned out for the best. And
Absolutely.
I'm able to be the mom I want to be, and I'm able to grow a business. And we've talked about this. It's adopting the mindset that you can have it all, right? Like you can be a great mom and wife. You can leverage your business. You can serve your clients. That's been, like a dream for me.
Awesome.
My biggest pivot was finding you.
Let's go.
Before Brad came into the picture, I've been in real estate for 6 years. I know everything. I'm taking off on my career. And I saw something in Brad that everyone said that they saw in me. And I gave Brad the push that he needed to quit his medical device job that he hated more than anything. And then once you fully got into real estate full time, you just took off like guns blazing, and your knowledge, your growth, your everything has just taken off like rapid fire. And You make me want to be better every day. And
Sonny, get a little sentimental here.
well, and I just think anyone is beyond lucky to work alongside you to grow their business the way that they want to, because you've made that possible for me. And I want to say everybody else at EV, but I can't speak for them. But I can see the progress that they've made since you've been helping them. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Man.
That's
I'm
true.
going to have to let her go gamble more.
Yeah. Literally. And shop.
$3.
It's $3, yeah, and shop, yeah. She's ready for a shopping spree, right? No, those are all wonderful things, and I deeply appreciate the compliment. But, it's funny how life turns out, and we all end up in real estate in some way, right? When you look around, like how people got into the business, there's never really one path,
Right.
It's very, I guess it's very few and far between that you see somebody that's just like, I got into real estate right after high school, right after college.
Yeah.
Most of the time they all did something and they made the pivot in.
Need a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool, ladies. Well, I really appreciate you coming out, being on the episode. Any last thoughts?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks. This was so fun.
Yeah, you guys did a great job.
good.
So I appreciate it. All right. That's episode 2 of the Engel and Volkers podcast, and we will see you next time.